What is up, YouTube? This is 5 Questions with the Chase, episode 6, or 6 for the Spanish speakers, or for the sign language listeners. I think that's 6 in sign language. I don't know. I haven't taken sign language in over 2 years. But anyways, let's get this started. 5 Questions with the Chase, episode 6. First question comes from Multi-Boom Master. He asked, "What's my favorite sport after wrestling? And who's my favorite YouTuber?" Favorite sport after wrestling? That's a tough one. Probably football or MMA. Reason being football was I started watching basketball first. I loved basketball before both those sports and boxing. But then football, I found football in 1998, I want to say. I didn't start supporting a team until 99 because my dad told me to. Then I decided to choose my own team in 2001, which is the San Diego Chargers. And basically what happened was I liked the physicality of football. I loved it. I thought it was a more intense game. Basketball, I still think it's pretty intense too. But I just loved the intensity of football. I just thought it was pretty cool. It was just something that always entertained me. And then MMA, it was just like boxing but a higher level. It felt more of a professional wrestling. They were using punches and kicks, grappling. I know it's real, but the way they hype up the fights, they use the graphics. They go, "Oh yeah, this fight's going to be big." They have the people talking crap about one another. It feels like professional wrestling to me. So that's why I like those two sports. And my favorite YouTuber, to be honest, it can go either way. If you're asking me about, wrestling shooters, I would have to say Off the Rope Show just because of their stuff. If you're talking about video game player, I would have to say DSP Gaming. He plays a lot of good video games that I like to watch every once in a while. Talking about Machinima, there's a lot of different things I can go into this. But if I think you're asking for favorite wrestling shooter, I guess I'll have to say Off the Rope Show. Like I said earlier, they're funny. The Slug Daddy, he's very funny and very informative at the same time. He has a lot of knowledge that a lot of people could, if they just took the time to sit down and listen to, it could help you in the future. He has a lot of knowledge that you can pull a lot of fun facts on people who don't watch Off the Rope Show. Tony's T, he's a good guy too. I agree with OCT. We need some OCT in our life all the time. And Mr. Route, dude's just funny in general. He's a fun guy. He does his own channel with a bunch of other stuff, like all of them. So thank you very much, Multi-Boom Master, for that very long first question. Next question comes from my boy, STB515. And STB515, I'm sorry for kicking you out of Blog TV yesterday. My bad. There was a trolls on there, and I was trying to kick them, and then they left, and I accidentally kicked my boy STB out. And so, yeah. But he asked, "Why are you such a boss?" Well, STB, let me tell you something. I'm just Sam. I have no answer for you. I'm just a boss, I guess. But anyways, thank you for the question, STB. Next question comes from the Ray and Van Show. And they ask, "What is your favorite video game?" I actually have 2 favorite video games, I guess you can say, or technically 3. The first game I always love no matter what, and I play to this day, is Spyro the Dragon. Spyro the Dragon is a game that was my first game as a little kid. It was just so intense. I love playing as a dragon. I thought it was the coolest thing playing as that little purple dragon and shooting fire. And then later on when the newer games came out, you got all these cool abilities, and oh my god, it was just awesome as a little kid. My second would have to be Pokemon. Yeah, I'm a Pokemon player. Get at me. But anyways, Pokemon has always been there since my childhood. They're still making games today, which is fucking surprising. I played White, the newest one, a little bit. Not a lot, but I hope there's no more games being made. I hope this is the last one, because I kind of want it to finally die. Because, to be honest, it just gets to the point where it gets played out and boring, but it's still one of my favorites. Like, if I ever get some downtime, if there's ever time where I'm not doing anything, I will download, like, Pokemon Yellow and play it on my computer, and just relive good childhood memories, recreate my childhood team. Man, Pokemon was a shit. I love that game. Thank you for the question. Oh, and also my third game I would have to say is Kingdom Hearts. The mixture of Squaresoft and Disney, or otherwise Square Enix and Disney now. That game was a shit. I loved 1 and 2. Birth by Sleep, not a fan of. 358 by 2 Days, don't understand the fucking title, but fun nonetheless. Recoded's pretty fun. They just have fun games on there. That series always puts out some fun, interesting games. I can't wait for the third one if it ever fucking comes out. And once it comes out, say goodbye to Chase Oliver 68 for a long fucking time. Pretty much that's about it for my favorite video games. Then these final two questions come from the Maltese Falcon 49. If you guys did not know, Maltese has left the building. He is no longer on YouTube. So I'm just going to ask, I find it fitting that these two questions will be the last two questions on this episode of 5 Questions with the Chase. So he asks, what should Kharma should name her child? You know what? I've been thinking about this for a while when I read that question. And I know. She should name it Kuda. That's right. Kuda. You know why? Kuda is a name for an ugly baby. That's right, Kuda. I'm talking to you. So yeah, should be named Kuda. And then his final question is, should Colt Cabana come back to WWE to do some commentary? Colt Cabana is one of those guys who's funny on the mic and funny in general. But maybe he could be good on commentary, because just because you're good on the mic doesn't mean you're good at commentary. Because, you know, being good on the mic, you have to talk your mind out. Being good on commentary is a totally different aspect, because when you're good on commentary, you call the moves move by move. You talk about the different aspects of what's going on in the ring, and you bring out more life into the match. And yes, CM Punk, he was good on commentary, but not the best. I mean, all he was good was for funny one-liners, and that's the truth. CM Punk just said funny one-liners that made everyone laugh and they were quotable. I can quote many of Keen's funny one-liners back in the good old days, but Keen was actually really good because he made you pissed off at him. CM Punk didn't do any of that. He kind of just played a tweener. See, a commentator is either supposed to annoy the shit out of you or someone that you will love and then that you will always love their voice. And I feel that CM Punk just kind of just said stuff, funny one-liners, and that's what I feel Colt Cabana could do, funny one-liners. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, thank you very much for the question, the Maltese Falcon 49, aka Joe the Show. But anyways, thank you all for your questions for 5 questions, episode 6. Send in questions to episode 7 or 7. Oh no, for later episodes, 7 is already full. I think Ocho's already full too. But keep posting your questions down below, you know, just so I can have more questions for future episodes. They'll be answered as soon as possible. Subscribe up above for more content from Chase Oliver 68. Wrestling Matters here, brother. Follow me on Twitter. Add me on Skype, Chase Oliver 68. And that's pretty much it for this episode. So I'm coming up close to the camera. You all know what that means.